Hi, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Bongani Ndanzi. And in fact, let's talk about the dangers of keeping a witness who is an accused person in the witness box. The dangers of keeping a witness who is an accused person on the witness stand for far too long, especially this long for almost 3 months, because Bongani Ndanzi has been there. Bongani Ndanzi versus senior state prosecutor. Bear in mind, Bongani Ndanzi is a high school dropout, standard 8. I'm not shading him when I say that. I want to show you that sometimes these degrees, yeah, but this degree that we are busy chasing sometimes, yeah, ne? Well, people can have degrees and still not be smart. They are book smart, but when it comes to now, this is a really courtroom risk. And in a case as high profile as Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, it becomes even more dangerous. Let's break it down properly, because keeping someone like Bongani Ndanzi on the stand for months is not just unusual. It can backfire on the state in multiple ways, especially against a prosecutor like George Baloyi. Now, number one, let's talk about fatigue can turn into adaptation, not collapse as expected. At first, a long cross-examination is meant to break a witness, right? But over time, something flips. The witness learns the prosecutor's style. They start predicting questions. They become less emotional, more controlled. They refine their answers with each round. So instead of collapsing, the witness becomes battle-hardened. For someone with no formal education, this can actually level the field. They stop overthinking. They default to simple, consistent responses. They become harder to trap. Are we not noticing that? Is that not what is happening between Baloyi and Ndanzi right now? Is that not what is happening between the two of them? Secondly, low education can work against the state. When you undermine people, they can show you Drakesan. The assumption is a high school dropout will break under pressure, right? But in court, that assumption can be very dangerous. Why? Because they are less likely to over-explain, which reduces contradictions. They rely on short, repetitive answers. They can genuinely say, I don't understand, and it lands as credible. So instead of looking unreliable, they can appear honest and sophisticated and real. And that can quietly win sympathy from the judge. Yeah, this is Judge Rata, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line, this is working for Bongani Ndanzi. Thirdly, overexposure weakens the prosecution. 3 months on the stand creates serious problems. The prosecutor runs out of new material, exactly what Baloyi is suffering. Questions start repeating. All old evidence gets recycled. The cross-examination loses sharpness. At that point, it stops looking like a strategic attack. It starts looking like desperation. And in a bench trial, perception matters. And Baloyi does not see that, guys. You guys will witness, you are witnessing this happening. Number 4, the risk of building the defense case. And Baloyi does not see that. This is one of the most dangerous unintended effects. By keeping a witness on the stand too long, the state gives the witness time to clarify earlier inconsistencies. Weak answers get improved over time. Defense lawyers observe everything and prepare surgical re-examination. So instead of damaging the witness, the state may actually be helping the defense strengthen their version. Number 5, judicial fatigue is real. Judges are human. We can see Judge Rata is tired of Baloyi, but he can't voice it out. I don't know why. If the same witness repeats I don't know, my lord, survive days of intense questioning, doesn't collapse at all, then over time the judge may begin to think if he was lying, he would have cracked by now. That perception, right or wrong, can influence credibility findings. And Undanzi is exactly there. He's not folding. Number 6, loss of control by the prosecutor. A long cross-examination only works if it's tight structured. Each question builds towards a clear contradiction. But when it drags, the narrative becomes scattered. The witness starts controlling the rhythm. The prosecutor reacts instead of leading. That's when the courtroom dynamics shift, and suddenly the accused doesn't look like one under pressure anymore. This is exactly what is happening in the courtroom of Judge Ratta. Number 7, legal risk. Okay, let's not even go there because, yeah, we dealt with that. Now, the bigger picture here is that keeping Bongani Ntanzi on the stand for that long creates a paradox. What was meant to destroy credibility can end up building resilience and doubt. And for George Baloyi, the risk is this: the longer it goes, the more the courtroom starts asking, why hasn't he broken? Ntanzi did not break. And Judge Ratta has seen that too. Now, in a high stakes trial like Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, a long cross-examination is a weapon. But if overused, it becomes a boomerang. And the sad part about this is that Ubaloyi does not see it that way. Ubaloyi does not see it that way, sadly for him, but it is a fact. He doesn't see it that way. He does not see that Ntanzi has injured. Ntanzi has adapted. And in this nearly 3 months on the witness stand, the pressure did not destroy him. It transformed him instead. And that's when the real question hits hard in the courtroom. Is the state still in control, or have they already lost? It's bad, but because it's Baloyi, he can't see things like that. He came, Ubaloyi, in that courtroom with one mission: break the witness. Relentless cross-examination, day after day, question after question. And the idea for him was very simple: apply pressure long enough and the cracks will show. Pigesan. And he came with this mentality. He believed he was going to do this because he especially thought he was dealing with someone he believed was vulnerable. He thought he is a man with no formal legal training or even a dropout name. A man described as a high school dropout. But when things started to go wrong, well, it showed that you cannot assume that the courtroom is only about pressure, because now pressure became Baloyi's situation. Now we have a witness that adapted faster than he can react Ubaloyi. Week 1 and week 2, he was about pressure phase and he was busy doing all of these things, but Ntanzi was not buying it. And week 3 and week 4, he already adapted to Ntanzi. He knew all the tricks of Baloyi. He already knew, and it became dangerous, but Baloyi did not notice. This is what is so sad about it all. Ntanzi learned, before even learning him now, Ntanzi had 3.5 years learning how Baloyi moves. Now, when he was on the witness box, it was very dangerous because Ntanzi learned the rhythm. He started recognizing the type of questions being asked from him, the traps being set, the pressure points being targeted. And instead of falling for them, he adjusted. His answers became shorter, more precise, less emotional. And here is a twist that nobody saw coming or no one is talking about. The very thing that was supposed to weaken him started making him look more believable. Not polished, not rehearsed, but really in a courtroom that matters. And Ubaloyi refused to see all of these things for what they are. Now, the overexposure that Ubaloyi did there Ubaloyi what he expected Ndanzi would be like done. But now the cracks didn't appear in the witness at all. They started appearing in the strategy Baloyi was using because by this point, that was week 5 to 8, questions started repeating, old evidence resurfaced, cross-examination slowed down. Everyone in that courtroom could feel it, including the judge. This wasn't sharp anymore. It was trashed, and that's when everything got even more dangerous. It became nuclear because, wow, it was bad. What are your thoughts, guys? Let's talk in comment section. I want to hear your views. May I say, Untanzi, the hell out of Ubaloyi. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.